Hello, everyone. This is Nicole M. Louis, the Social Worker Strategy Mentor. I'm just going live in my group and it is stalling and going slowly. Why? I really should have set it up before and then I just had to click the button. But alas, I did not do that. So bear with me. This gives me a little time to allow you guys to join the live. If you are with me already, say hello in the comments. Tell me where you are viewing from, because my community are everywhere. They're all over the place. I have people in Hawaii, America, all over Africa. Where else? Of course, all over the UK and Europe. I have people in Europe too. So, okay, I'm just connecting here. Give me a moment. And you can tag a social worker if you know that this will be helpful for them. I haven't told you the topic yet, but it doesn't matter because we know it's going to be helpful for them. Okay. So you can go ahead and tag them from now. Okay, it's just setting up and going live in my other place. So hello, it's Nicole M. Lou, the Social Worker Strategy Mentor. As you know by now, I enjoy and love supporting social workers who are working full time to have more control over their career and have more work-life balance. So I do that by helping them start and scale their very own independent social work business. So that's what I do. Today, I'm going to be talking about the secrets to pricing as an independent social worker. This is like a huge topic, like many that I cover. And I really want to just talk about some of the secrets the things that I have worked out for myself that I feel are a secret, because I'm noticing that social workers that want to start out or indeed have actually gone down the route of independent social work don't really know this. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. So as I said, if this is a topic that you're interested in, stick with me. And if you know social workers that are interested in becoming independent, then please tag them in this. Go ahead and tag them or share this on your timeline now so that they can see it. So we're going to get into it. And before I get into that, I want to just remind you that for Instagram, it will be in my bio, but I'll also put it in my comments everywhere on all the platforms, but it will be at the top also of this live stream. That will just invite you, if you want support with the topic that I'm going to be covering, then I've got some spaces available where you can actually come on a call, have an opportunity to speak with me. We can either have a 45-minute call or a 15-minute call. We will decide which one's more appropriate for you and have a conversation to help you start actually mapping out what your independence is going to look like, and looking at this particular topic will be included as well. So without further ado, I'm going to get straight into it. Now, I can remember mentoring a social worker who came to me, who had started the process, and she was already kind of semi-independent, wonderful social worker, huge heart, had a real desire and has a real desire to serve from an overflow and do the best. And oftentimes social workers that do that, they often give so much of themselves that they leave themselves barren, right? And they do it to their detriment and their deficit. And not just from an emotional point of view and a practical point of view, but even from a financial point of view. And that's why like pricing is so important, talking about that. And so that's why I wanted to share about this pricing. So this social worker in particular, as I said, she was semi-independent and she was doing some assessments and reports. And what we were obviously looking at is how she could change the structure of her business so that it was more in line with what she wanted to do, her purpose and how she wanted to serve, but also definitely from a financial point of view. And when we actually ran her numbers, what we discovered was that she was getting paid way less than she would have been if she was actually just a paid social worker, even a permanent paid social worker. So I think it worked out to about £17 an hour she was getting paid. And she was doing interpreting. She was doing obviously the reports. She was doing all the traveling. She was doing an innumerable number of things. And us as social workers, we don't do things in halves. So we always do go the full hog, full extent, and we give our all. And so she was probably doing a bit more than that too, right? But what she was getting paid was really, really poorly for her specialist work as an fully independent social worker. And so when we looked at her numbers, we really had to look at them. And I think when I ran the numbers for her and asked her some questions, she had several light bulb moments because she didn't realize what was actually going on. She thought that she was doing quite well. But when we actually looked at the structure of her business and what she was doing, we figured out that actually there are huge holes, huge deficits. And say that social workers who are going into full independence, but necessarily together, and they're quite vulnerable, fairly exploited. I feel that was quite exploitative about how she was being treated. But it's also a case of like taking responsibility and also trying to find the information and get the right information to build a proper structure in the business. And so I'm going to talk to you now and explain exactly what the secrets that I shared with her to be able to help her think about how she needed to make some changes to that. So before I do that, I just want to remind you, above and below, you've got the link to go and book some time with me, and we can have a conversation about moving you forward on your stage where you can ensure that this doesn't happen to you. So first secret that I'm going to share, I've put 3 down that I feel are the most pertinent, and I call them secrets because anyone that I have mentored, they don't understand. It's not until I really break this down and have a real heartfelt conversation and really talk about things that they wouldn't think that is necessarily relevant, but that actually does resonate, that they realize, oh my gosh, yeah, I was completely clueless about this, and I realize where there needs to be some changes. So the first and foremost is confidence. That is confidence in yourself when it comes to pricing. The confidence in yourself is about who you are internally. I can tell you other stories about another social worker that I had a call with, and she had done a piece of work for a local authority who didn't pay her. They hadn't paid her for months. And she hadn't kind of raised it with them to a point of taking legal action. She didn't have anything in place to do anything like that. And so confidence is a huge thing. And she was just left without. And she was actually struggling financially with paying her bills and everything. But she still was not confident in pushing things to where it needed to be. And so confidence is a huge thing. The confidence is about the confidence in yourself to know what internal value you have as an individual, just outside of social work, just on a humanistic level, a human level of the intrinsic value that you have that should allow you and enable you to be able to say, this is what I deserve and this is what I'm going for. And that might feel strange and sound strange, especially in this sector. But when you start working for yourself, it's a real thing. Like, you can't pay for things with smiles, right? Their smiles are not accepted anyway. It's not real currency. Okay. And so you have to get really good at understanding, first and foremost, your own value, because it has an immediate knock-on impact and effect as to how you price and what you where your numbers come from, okay, and how you do things, and what you feel you should charge, what you feel you're worthy of receiving. And that is a real thing. When you're an employee, it's a completely different mindset. These are things you never have to think of. But I would challenge you to think about, if you were going to price something, You could pick anything out of the air and you were going to put a price on it. What price would you put on? Why would you put that price? That's an exercise that you could do. Okay, so that's the first thing, confidence in yourself, and then knowing the value. So understanding the value of things. So when I came into this space in the world of business, and I'm seeing other consultants, other mentors charging way more than me for sometimes doing far less than me, it was an eye opener that, you know, my prices, I need to reevaluate and think about what I was doing, because there is just like a standard in this industry. And so when I'm able to really review and look at the work and all that entails, the pieces that I'm putting together, it allowed me to really think differently about what I was offering and why I was offering it. And so you would do the same. That is a huge secret, that you've got to understand what is the value in your industry. And granted, as social workers, being in business, doing it in a very unconventional way, sometimes there is not a blueprint. And so you have to carve out and be the person to create the blueprint. And so that also feeds back into confidence, your confidence in yourself, knowing that you are the one and you have what it takes to actually create that blueprint, and not being scared to do that. Okay, so that's the second thing. And the third thing is having a structure. Now, there are many different structures and systems that I talk about and that I even mentor my social workers on, but I'm talking about even from a financial point of view. So I teach my mentees my wealth goal system that I created, that is a cocktail of various different elements of finances pulled together, that they are able to have, that tracks them personally and in business. And that is huge. So a lot of social workers just pull numbers out of the air to actually price their services. And so in the case of the mentee that I mentioned to you, where we had that conversation, which we actually broke down her business and looked at it, and I audited it, and then we actually ran her numbers and looked at her numbers and worked backwards, we realized that she realized that she hadn't actually done there was no real structure to her pricing at all. And it meant that she was at a loss financially. It was impacting her emotionally, because she was having to work way harder and take on far more work as an independent, semi-independent, to try to make ends meet. And that's part and parcel of why she couldn't see how to transition into full independence. And so those are the main secrets that I would tell you to pricing. You've got to have confidence in yourself. You've got to understand the value of what you are offering, not just from an emotional point of view, but also from an actual practical value-based financial point of view. And then equally so, you've got to have a structure. You have to have a money structure that will actually support what you're doing, so that what you're providing is fair, what you're charging is fair, but also what you're receiving is fair, based on your experience, your knowledge, your skills, and what you are offering, the value that you're adding to somebody's life. So those are the elements that I wanted to really share with you. And as I said, I challenge you to maybe conjure up and imagine that you were going to create something and sell it. How would you go about pricing it? Maybe you could tell me in the comments what would be your point of reference, and why would you price it at whatever you're going to price it at? That'd be something that I challenge you to. So I just want to remind you that if you're a social worker who is ready to look to go into full independence, if you're serious about actually wanting to take more control of your career and be able to offer even more, have a greater impact in the lives of those that you serve while serving yourself, and thinking about yourself and having better work-life balance, then please do utilize the link above and below, and book out some time for us to have a conversation. And I look forward to supporting you and helping you on your journey. If there are any topics that you want me to cover, please also, you could DM me or put that in the comments as well. And I will see you guys on Sunday. Take care. Bye for now.